My name's Jeremy Tomley.
Spike Richards with Saber Bats.
My name is Tasha Messer-Williams.
Benjamin Green.
My name is Seth Bories, and I am a modern-day bladesmith.
Whether it's down-home Southern cooking, skilled craftsmanship, or beautiful artwork, Mississippi is full of amazing people and amazing stories. So let them tell you what it means to be made in Mississippi.
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Katie Dixon. I'm from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and I own Birdhouse Cafe. So I grew up in Brookhaven, Mississippi. I was the oldest of 4 children. We are Mississippi through and through. My grandfather was a farmer in Mississippi. Everything we did was on the farm. Everything I learned about cooking was from the farm. I was the oldest of 4. We were very involved in sports, in school. We really just loved to call Mississippi home. On the farm, I had the choice. I could either follow my grandfather around and check on the cattle, I could help him with the chickens, I could help him with the garden, or I could follow my grandmother around in the kitchen. And it was a hard task. I really loved being on the farm with my grandfather, but I loved being in the kitchen with my grandmother. She loved to serve people. It was like serving love on a plate for her. She would make breakfast, lunch, dinner every day. My love for cooking really came from my grandmother. So many hours spent in that farmhouse kitchen just getting to learn from her, share her passion of cooking, and learn really the Southern style cooking method that most Southerners actually use to cook with. So growing up on the farm, I would have to say probably has one of the biggest impacts of anything that's ever really touched my life before. Just seeing the easy way of life, sitting around the dinner table having conversations, getting to be with my family, and getting to learn from my grandmother and grandfather. And I talk to my kids all the time. They call them old time stories. They're like, Mom, tell us old time stories about my mom and papa. And so just sitting around getting to tell my children now about stories about their grandparents is something that I'll cherish forever. So from my grandmother's farmhouse kitchen to now having 3 restaurants, there's been a big learning curve. So her love for cooking is what I really have brought to the table into each of my restaurants. And the transition from her kitchen into what I'm doing now, it's really, I didn't think I would be doing this now. If you'd asked me in college and right out of college, I would have never said, I'm gonna own restaurants. It's something that kind of just I fell into after competing on MasterChef. I was cooking out of my home under the cottage law. I moved into a commercial kitchen. I was on MasterChef, and I get home from MasterChef and everyone's like, Katie, when are you opening your own place? And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't know how to do this. But I knew deep down in my heart it was something I wanted to do. And I knew that if I didn't go ahead and just take the leap and do it, that I would regret it. So I said, I'm gonna stay true to my passion, which is feeding the South healthy meals, and I'm just gonna go for it. So Birdhouse Cafe opened 6 years ago, and I haven't looked back since. And in college, I actually did not do culinary. I was a personal trainer in college when I was playing basketball, and then I also cheered in college, and I kept doing the personal training. I was actually biochem major, and then I changed over after I was Mississippi's Miss Hospitality to marketing and business. After traveling across the country for a year promoting economics and tourism for the great state of Mississippi, I realized that I really wanted to be in something that I could promote the place that I love so much, and I wanted to be in something that I could market Mississippi and what we have to offer. So that year was definitely life-changing for me. If it weren't for being Miss Hospitality back in 2001, I can definitely say I don't think that I would have made quite the mark that I have in the culinary world, that I probably would have been afraid to step out of my comfort zone. I have a big thank you to the lady that actually asked me to compete in the local pageant, just to say thank you for getting me out of my comfort zone, for letting me travel the U.S., promoting economics and tourism for Mississippi, for letting me learn that everywhere I travel, I learn something new about myself. And instead of keeping that all to myself, I want to teach others. MasterChef came about. It brings a smile to my face just saying the word MasterChef. It was such an amazing experience for me. I was in a commercial kitchen at Vitamin Plus right here in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Also another learning pad for me. They have naturopath doctors, they have a chiropractor. I was getting to cook in their commercial kitchen and learn all about the health world through the staff there, through the employees, through the workers, through people coming in saying, hey, I feel this way and I want to feel this way, and learning how food can really affect the way you feel. And that definitely was another stepping stone for me. But one of my friends from the coast of Mississippi had sent me a message saying, you should try out for MasterChef. And it was like a little flyer that she saw in a shop she was in. And I laughed about it. I was like, yeah, right, I can't be on MasterChef. And that night, I had been working at Vitamin Plus. I'd opened a little place called Shine Cafe inside. And I was up coughing all night because another one of my friends had sent me some flowers out of her yard, and I was allergic to something in it. So instead of falling asleep, I'm like up on my phone because I'm coughing all night. And I look at the text message from my friend and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna fill out this form at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I filled out the form to apply for MasterChef, and the next morning when I left work, I had like 19 missed calls from LA. So the next day I go cook for the crew at MasterChef in Jackson, Mississippi, and that started a 9-month-long process. It started with 22,000 applicants, and they narrowed us to 80 to actually go to LA and see who was actually going to be on the show. So thankfully, my friend Cameron sent me that MasterChef application, and thankfully, my friend Elizabeth sent me some flowers that made me cough all night. I was very thankful for that opportunity. It taught me so much about being in the kitchen. It taught me so much about being true to your passion. It taught me really how to run a restaurant. Gordon Ramsay is amazing. A lot of people give him flack because he's so hard on people, but I tell people it's like he's a coach that expects a lot out of you, but he believes you can produce more, so he pushes you until you produce what he knows that you're capable of. A few Gordon Ramsay funnies, I would call them, behind the scenes. One of my favorite moments is where I think there was like 14 of us left in the kitchen out of the 20, and Gordon's like, I'm gonna cook with y'all today. And he comes and cooks right next to me in the stall, and we had 60 minutes to make, I can't remember what we made, to make one thing, and he made like 6 things in the 60 minutes. But first, for like the first 10 minutes, he boiled some water and made a cup of tea and talked to everybody, and then in the 50 minutes that was left, he made 5 or 6 different entrees. It was just amazing to get to like work beside him and see the talents that he has and the passions that he has. Okay, so a lot of people ask, how did I go from farmhouse kitchen to birdhouse cafe? So I have to say, my grandmother's heart and love for cooking and serving other people definitely impacted me, but I was an athlete. I was always really small. I was tiny actually, and I played college basketball. That was my dream. So I had a really good friend that had moved to Mississippi from California. Their mother had a lot of food allergies, and from about the age 15, 16, I started learning how food could make you feel, and how if she ate certain food, she felt really bad. And you have to remember, this was like over 20 years ago. So for me, being a little girl from Mississippi, I was like, wait, food can make you feel differently? Like it can make you feel bad, or it can make you feel better? Why wouldn't you want to feel your best? So I just like dove in. I was like, I want to learn all about this. Like, so I can feel better, I can have more energy, I can be stronger just from food. That's like an easy switch. So my 16-year-old self that was always told, you're too small to play basketball in college, I was like, I'm gonna show you that I can do it. And so I started using food to really fuel me, to be stronger, faster, quicker, to feel better, to have more energy. And from that point on, I just like was just enamored, like just in love with how food could make you feel. And I was like, I wanna share this with other people. I didn't really think that was ever something that I would use, you know, as an occupation. Like I thought it was just like a hobby that I really enjoyed and was passionate about. And then after I had Stevie Kate, so this was back 18 years ago, I was doing pharmaceutical sales, and I really just had this call to stay at home more with her and not to have the crazy hours. And I was like, but I need to do something. And so I started back with personal training. And from that, I really realized that a lot of my clients really struggled with eating more than they did working out. They would come in and they would work out and work out and work out, but they would always feel like they were failing with their eating. And they were like, we don't really understand how to eat healthy. And if we do eat healthy, it seems so boring, or it doesn't taste good. And I was like, well, let me make you something. So I would cook them something, I would bring it to their personal training session. They're like, oh, that was great. If I could eat like that every day, I would eat healthy. And so I started having like client after client want me to make them things. And that's how I really started under the cottage law, and then moving into the commercial kitchen. And I learned this is a big need. A lot of people really want healthy food. And so it's really what, you know, transferred then into having Birdhouse Cafe, was just cooking really to show people that healthy food could be tasty and it could make you feel really good. And so here at Birdhouse, that's what we do. We have a meal prep service, we have a sweet treat line, and we get to talk with customers every day they come in, whether it's, they have a family member that's fighting cancer and they're wanting to fuel them with the best of the best, or we have someone that's really overweight and they've struggled with their weight for a really long time and they don't understand how to really transition into a healthier lifestyle. So I tell people the Birdhouse, people are like, why the Birdhouse? First off, my nickname was Bird as a little girl because I would just jump around everywhere. I've always had a ton of energy. And on the basketball court, they would call me Bird. And then from that, I feel like a birdhouse is like a bird's nest, their home. It's like nurturing, you grow there. I wanted Birdhouse to be somewhere where people could come in, they could have zero understanding of healthy food, but they could come in and feel inspired and at home, and like it was a place that was a safe learning environment. I have to say my absolute favorite things to cook, I love to make curries. I know that sounds crazy, but I love to make fresh curry. I did realize when I was on MasterChef and the producers were coming to me and they were like, Katie, stop talking about healthy stuff. And I was like, you brought me on the show to make healthy stuff. I really realized that they really wanted me to be a traditional Southern cook. And I knew in the moment I decided to stay true to my passion and true to healthy that I wasn't going to win the show. But I also realized that that was okay, that staying true to my passion, there was a bigger calling for me than to win MasterChef. And I was okay with the fact that I finished top 6 and not the winner, because I was able to go on and do other things. I was able to be an ambassador with Neiman Marcus as they had a inspiration campaign basically about make some noise, women who stay true to themselves. And I wouldn't have stepped into that had I just conformed and done the traditional Southern thing. So getting made fun of on national television for making healthy fried chicken actually ended up being a really good thing for me. Another one of my most favorite things when I opened Birdhouse Cafe, and still to this day, is I love making sweet treats. So I have a sweet treat line. We have gluten, dairy-free muffins that we make fresh every day at Birdhouse. I really think making the sweet things really brings me back to my childhood memories of being in the kitchen with my grandmother, because she was always had a fresh cake out. And so here we do gluten, dairy-free options, but I love making fresh muffins. It's crazy because sweet things make people happy. So getting to come in and somebody eat a really healthy lunch and then them know that, hey, I can have this super healthy dessert and it doesn't make me feel bad afterwards. It doesn't make me tired afterwards. I make them all from scratch. My team here makes them fresh every day and they're really delicious. So cooking for me is so much more than just the food. To me, it's about the experience. It's about the stories. It's about, sitting around a dinner table, eating together, hearing about each other's day and their lives. I feel like it's almost a lost art to sit down at the dinner table these days, to take the time to sit and have a conversation and to eat, with friends and family. And so to me, what I love to do most isn't just about the food. It's about the serving. It's about showing people I'm taking the time to make you something. I want you to feel good. I want you to enjoy this experience. I want to hear about your day. I want to slow down a little bit. And all those things bring me back to the farmhouse kitchen. It's a slower pace of life. And I think sometimes that gets knocked, but I think it's something that people are starting to really recognize is really important. To actually stop all the busyness and actually sit and enjoy a conversation, a meal. And that's what I like to serve, is an actual experience.